Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Saturday and Sunday, February 4th and 5th, 2023 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I surf the highest vibe, the vibe of love. And we have a big full moon in Leo this weekend. That is on Sunday. We have some astro for Saturday that I also want to get into. So in order to do some good astro work and give myself a break, I decided to pile them into one. So let's settle in and let's hope that I can bring it all forward. Now, Saturday's lead up to the full moon on Sunday is important. We're going to have Venus and Mars in an interaction at 11 degrees. 11-degree energy is master energy. And being that the full moon in Leo, in one part, represents the energy of love, we want to dig into this lesson that Venus and Mars are bringing us first, because love can be between two, but love is also within ourselves, just as yin and yang can be, two, or the balance within ourselves. So, Venus in Pisces is ready to sing the praises of love. Venus in Pisces is ready for union, ready just to fall into the pink clouds of the biggest romance. Venus in Pisces is always there. Mars in Gemini, coming out of a retrograde, kind of a cynical retrograde, we'll say. It's very logical and not necessarily ready to step into those pink clouds. And so we have a square here. We have two energies that are meant to work together that are coming from very different perspectives at this time. Now, both Gemini and Pisces are knowledge seekers in different ways. Pisces absorbs from the etheric, and Gemini sees everything, literally everything that's happening around it. And so these energies can be very at odds because that etheric knows love has already won. That love will save the day. That love is the ultimate power. And what Gemini is seeing, Mars and Gemini is seeing, is the world logistics, right? Money is power, leverage, is how you get on top. And love can make you weak or appear weak, right? And so here we have a square. And I think this square represents two parts within all of us, where we know we are created by love. We know, or most of us, I think, know love has already won. Love is winning. Love has already won. And love is the biggest, most powerful energy we could ever embrace. And yet, it feels like the world isn't ready. And so it requires so much courage to live from that place. And that is one of our words of this weekend, is courage. And so part of our work on Saturday is moving through this discord that's within ourselves and existing in the world. How can we have the courage to live a life of love in such a cynical world? And I think that's the thing. It's up to each of us to find our way, find our own balance, find our own yin and yang, feeling and action way into the solution. But be aware that this energy may show us where we are at odds in our own lives on Saturday. We may have challenges where we are encouraged to have the courage to step into love, and where it may be easier to do the next easiest thing, whatever that next easy step is, whatever the world is kind of doing. Right now, it can be very courageous to go against the tides, right? Because people are like, do this or else you're canceled, or else you're isolated, or else we're going to ridicule you. And yet, to have the courage to follow your heart is the direction we are all being encouraged into. I love that the word encourage utilizes the word courage. Where do you need to encourage your courageous heart in and through this energy? So keep that in mind on Saturday. The emotions behind all this also may be quite large as we are building to that full moon in Leo. We actually do have the moon in Leo moving in fairly early on Saturday. So moon in Leo can help us with the love piece, but may also feed into ego energy and all of that. So there's a little challenge in that. And we may find our divine inner child, like the healed child, the beautiful, love-filled child within us, being able to come forth. But the wounded child is right there on hand as well, hidden through this energy. So there can be tensions happening. Fortunately, the hardest challenge or the hardest energy of the day is that Venus-Mars square. But do keep in mind, we're coming off the very triggery energy of the Sun squaring Uranus, and we're building into the Moon squaring Uranus on its path to the full moon. So let us dig into the full moon energy. The Sabian symbol for this full moon is really beautiful. And I keep getting a song every time I see this Sabian symbol. So for 16 degrees Leo, which is where the full moon is the storm ended, all nature rejoices in brilliant sunshine. And it says the keynote is the surge of love and life, or life and love after a major crisis. And there's so many things to dig into in that. There's a song, and I can never remember what the song is. It might be After the Rains Have Fallen. It's by Sting, but it says basically after the rains have fallen, after the storms have something, you'll find I've taken nothing that love can't replace in the blink of an eye. And that reminds me of the theme that came up, I think it was the beginning of this week, where Rumi said, don't grieve, anything you love comes around in a different form. And I don't take that completely seriously. I think grief is an important thing. But recognize how love is the most resilient energy on this planet. And as we are created in that, as we engage, as we have the courage to engage with love, we'll find spring comes again, right? The flowers rise again. The flowers come up. The sun comes out. A new day dawns, right? This is a cycle we see over and over and over again. And yet I think that there's a fear that many of us carry, that the grief will last forever, that love will never come back around. In whatever form, I have been grieved to see so much grief in people I care about this last week. There was a lot of change going on this week. And yet we are here to love. And this full moon is reminding us we are here to love. Now, one of the other things that came up as I was thinking about this full moon is one of my favorite phrases by Rumi, or verses. Your job is not to seek for love, but to seek all the walls, essentially, that you have built against it. And that also tunes into this energy that's moving through for us in this full moon. Speaking of courage, can you have the courage to work through the walls that you have put up within your heart, within yourself, to life, to having the courage to love, to show up in love, to choose the path that sometimes looks more challenging on this planet, to be willing to ride that vibe of love. This is our overview card for this weekend, is the Going with the Flow card. It's the Ace of Cups. It's a card of love beginning, because we have the courage to not desperately paddle upstream to safety, but to trust that the way this energy is moving will work out for us ultimately. So it's a very powerful energy, but in that we have to face the Wheel of Fortune. The times that we're up and it feels wonderful, and the times that it circles back down and you're like, oh, what are you doing to me, universe? We have to have the courage in and through that. Now, this full moon, like I said, meets with Uranus on its way to fullness. It is not right in the essence of the full moon. Uranus is now at 15 degrees. Technically, this full moon is at 16 degrees. So it's about probably a degree and a half away from each other in and through this energy. So that square, that challenge is real. Uranus brings that change. Uranus brings those triggers. This is not necessarily going to be like, my heart is full of sunshine and rainbows kind of energy. However, I will remind you that rainbows come after the storms, or maybe sometimes even when the storms come out, but when the light hits. And so keep in mind, if you are in the storms, look for where the light is coming through and look for those rainbows, which are a promise of better times. Now, I also pulled a crystal card to support us in this. I was like, what do we need to help us engage this love? And I pulled pink halite, which is self-love, replenish, and cherish. Vibrating with love, pink halite allows you to shed layers of negative thought patterns and beliefs as you connect to the essence of your true self. Pink halite helps you to embrace new spiritual practices as a way of life, preventing you from picking up bad habits to begin with. With this stone, you will make choices out of self-love. Call in the halite vibes if you don't have it. With this stone, you will make choices of self-love, honoring the highest version of yourself and trusting that you will make decisions for your highest good. Pink halite is a natural form of the mineral salt, known to cleanse toxins from the aura and replenish one's energy field. So how beautiful is that? And I have one more card for us. I pulled a Dreams of Gaia Tarot because I've been enjoying that this week. And this card is just beautiful and supportive and speaks of harmony. It is the 10 of Earth. The keywords: synthesis, harmony, highest ideals, reward, inner peace, authenticity, grace, and look within. And this card is reminding us good things are happening for us. Promise. Key phrases: a time of reward. Everything is coming together. Move through life with surety. The surety that love wins. I'm hearing the song, You Gotta Be. All I know, love will save the day. I think it's from like the 90s. So, move through life with surety that love will save the day. Understand your place and purpose. Do not be daunted by change. Strength gained from experience. Why do you feel lack? Where do you feel lack, and why do you feel that lack? And how can you feel that? With courage and love, I would say. So I think I'm going to leave this here for today. Now, I can't promise, but look out for a potential live with me and Nicole Ullman on Sunday for this full moon. We intend to do it, so hopefully we will show up for that. Besides that, you can always book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have power and value the power of love, because all I know is love will save the day. Namaste.